Hi folks, how are you doing? I'm the Reverend Danny Crosby, Unitarian minister in the northwest of England. I hope you're feeling the love and witnessing the blessings that are there in life in these terribly difficult times. It is hard, my friends, but we're all in this together. I'm offering these devotions as just my little bit of hope, playing my role in being a part of the solution. I have no medical skills, so I offer these devotions as balm for the heart, mind, spirit, and soul. Today's devotion will explore how to ask the beautiful question. So I invite us just to still ourselves. Let's invite a loving presence to be here amongst us and to awaken from deep, deep within us. I have lit the flame of freedom in this cup of love, acceptance, and belonging. Come and enter this time, this space, in the spirit of love. Know that you are welcome, whoever you are, wherever you have been, wherever you may well yet be. Know that you are welcome, welcome as you are, exactly as you are in this time. In this time, may we be reminded of our highest aspirations and be inspired to bring our gifts of love and of service to the altar of humanity. May we know once again that even in this time of physical separation, that we are not isolated beings, that we are connected in mystery and miracle, connected to the universe, connected to one another, connected to all life, held by the hand of life. Let us live in the spirit of love. Amen. I'm going to begin this reflection with some small little stories from the collection of Mullah Nasruddin, that great, my favourite holy fool, really. They're kind of they're stories about questions, really, not questions about the stories. Sorry about that. I'm another fool, maybe not as holy as some though. So anyway, I'll begin. Nasruddin opened a booth with a sign above it. 2 questions on any subject answered for only 100 silver coins. A man who had 2 very urgent questions handed over his money, saying, 100 silver coins is rather expensive for 2 questions, isn't it? Yes, said Nasruddin. And the next question, please? Nasruddin used to stand in the street on market days to be pointed out as an idiot. No matter how often people offered him a large and a small coin, he always chose the smaller coin. One day a kindly man said to him, Nasruddin, you should take the bigger coin. Then you will have more money and people will no longer be able to make a laughingstock of you. That may be true, said Nasruddin, but if I always take the larger, people will stop offering me money to prove that I am more idiotic than they are. Then I would have no money at all. One day as Nasruddin emerged from the mosque after prayers, a beggar sitting on the street solicited alms. The following conversation followed. Are you extravagant? Asked Nasruddin. Yes, replied the beggar. Do you like sitting around drinking coffee and smoking? Asked Nasruddin. Oh yes, replied the beggar. I suppose you like to go to the baths every single day. Yes, replied the beggar, and maybe amuse yourself even by drinking with friends. Oh yes, I like all these things, replied the beggar. Said Nasruddin, and he gave him a gold piece. A few yards further on, another beggar who had overheard the conversation begged for alms also. Are you extravagant? Asked Nasruddin. Oh no, Nasruddin, replied the second beggar. Do you like sitting around drinking coffee and smoking? No, replied the second beggar. And I suppose you like to go to the baths every day. Oh no, replied the second beggar. And maybe you amuse yourself even by drinking with friends. No, no, said the second beggar. I want to only live meagerly and pray. Whereupon Nasruddin gave him a very small copper coin. But why? Why do you do this? Wailed the second beggar. Why do you give me, an economical and pious man, just a penny, when you give the extravagant fellow a whole sovereign? To which Nasruddin replied, Well, my friend, his needs are far greater than yours. And finally, one day 2 small boys decided to play a trick on Mullah Nasruddin. With a tiny bird cupped in their hands, they would ask him whether it was alive or dead. If he said it was alive, they would crush it to show him he was wrong. If they said it was dead, they would let it fly away and still fool him. When they found the wise man, they said, Mullah Nasruddin, that which we are holding, is it alive or is it dead? Mullah Nasruddin thought for a moment, and then he replied, Ah, my young friends, that is in your hands. To which they responded, Mullah Nasruddin, why do you always answer a question with yet another question? To which Nasruddin replied, Do I? Some wisdom from the holy fool Mullah Nasruddin. Are you well? Are you well? It's a strange greeting that I get asked a lot. And I don't just mean at this moment when it's probably an appropriate question, but generally speaking, it's a kind of greeting. It's a casual greeting, but it's one I've never liked. It seems a little specific and a bit closed, not an open and welcoming kind of greeting. And it also suggests that people might think that there's actually something wrong with me, which there might be, but I don't think there is. And by the way, it's not that I think a question as a greeting is inappropriate. I quite like to be asked, how are you? Or how are you doing? These feel like open and invitational questions. They are welcoming. They are not closed greetings. And I think it matters how we greet one another and the questions that we ask of each other and of life, of course. That said, it's not just the questions that we ask, but the spirit in which these very questions are asked also. Recently, I've been questioning my own questions, thinking about it. My questions about life and myself and the folk I share my life with. And the adventure, this brought me to asking questions about the very word question itself. I thought, wonder what the word question even means. Where does it come from? What's its root, its etymology? I'm always interested in words because they change all the time, you know. People say, this is what this word means. Well, often 100 years ago, it meant something very different. Sometimes words can mean almost the opposite of what they mean now. Like so much in life, they're always changing. Anyway, I thought I'd have a look at the word question itself. And I found something very interesting in the etymology of the word question. It dates back to the 13th century, meaning philosophical or theological problem, becoming an utterance meant to elicit an answer or discussion, also as a difficulty, a doubt. It is rooted actually in the Anglo-French word question, meaning difficulty, problem, legal inquest, interrogation, torture. Torture. From the Latin questionem, I think. I can't do Latin. Which was seeking, questioning, inquiry, examining, judicial investigation. This fascinated me. Even in its roots, there are examples of good or bad questions. In one form, it's meant to elicit an answer or discussion, an open and inviting form of communication. And in another, it suggests that a question is a form of interrogation or even torture. There are good and bad questions. There always has been. Probably always will. And looking at the word question, it brought back memories of watching Monty Python as a child and their Spanish Inquisition sketch. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Nobody. A question can be an invitation, or it can become some form of interrogation. It matters how we ask a question and how we respond to any question asked. It matters in what spirit we ask, whether the question is of ourselves, of other people, or of life itself. There is an art to asking questions. David White has said there's an art to asking the beautiful question. The beautiful question is one that has the power to shift our thinking, to be the catalyst to inner change and open us to new possibilities aligned with our deepest longings and truth. As he explained in an interview with Krista Tippett for On Being, he said, "The ability to ask beautiful questions, often in very unbeautiful moments, is one of the great disciplines of human life. And a beautiful question starts to shape your identity as much by asking it as it does by having it answered. You just have to keep asking, and before you know it, you will find yourself actually shaping a different life, meeting different people, finding conversations that are leading you in those directions that you wouldn't even have seen before. The beautiful question ignites curiosity and encourages meaningful inquiry. As he has said, what would my life look like if I was to drink from a deeper source? And also, what would it be like to start a conversation with myself that my future self would thank me for? What would it be like to become the saintly ancestor of my future happiness?" He's a way with words, doesn't he, David? Not bad for a man from Mirfield in West Yorkshire. You wouldn't think that to listen to him now. White's point is that the conversations we are having with ourselves, both consciously and unconsciously, are the foundations of our future. By asking ourselves beautiful questions, we can begin new inner conversations, expand what is possible, and open up new interior frontiers that align with our deepest purpose in the world. And he portrays this rather beautifully in his poem, Working Together. Be taught now, among the trees and rocks, how the discarded is woven into shelter. Learn the way things hidden and unspoken slowly proclaim their voice in the world. Find that far inward symmetry to all outward appearances. Apprentice yourself to yourself. Begin to welcome back all you sent away. Be a new annunciation. Make yourself a door through which to be hospitable even to the stranger in you. Another great poet, E. Cummings, said, "Always the beautiful answer who asks a more beautiful question." Now, in the gospel accounts, you find Jesus over and over again engaging people with questions. He had an answer for everyone he met. Such questions were an invitation to follow him. Blind Bartimaeus being an example, or the disciples on the road to Emmaus. Asking beautiful questions is about opening a dialogue that leads somewhere. Jesus didn't tell Bartimaeus what he thought he wanted. He didn't diagnose his problem for him. Instead, he asked, "What do you want me to do for you?" Now, isn't that a humble invitation? Isn't that a humble invitation based around the principle of love and service? Isn't that a beautiful question? What do you want me to do for you? How often do we greet people with that question? What are the beautiful questions that you need to ask yourself, those you encounter, and life itself? For they will open you up to new and wonderful experiences, and such questions will lead to a new curiosity. For a beautiful question is open in nature. Parker J. Palmer asked the following question: When was the last time someone asked you an honest, open question, one that invited you to reflect more deeply on your own life, asked by a person who not want to advise you or fix you, but wanted to hear you into speech? Deeper and deeper speech. Wanted to hear you into speech. An invitation. A beautiful question. It's an invitation. What do you want me to do for you? When was the last time you were invited by an open question? Invited to quest with the other? An open question is a beautiful question, and it's a wonderful gift that you can offer to others. And this is beautifully exemplified in Denise Levertov's poem, The Gift. Just when you seem to yourself nothing but a flimsy web of questions, you are given the questions of others to hold in the emptiness of your hands. Songbird eggs that can still hatch if you keep them warm. Butterflies opening and closing themselves in your cupped palms, trusting you not to injure these scintillant fur, their dust. You are given the questions of others as if they were answers to all you ask. Yes, perhaps this gift is your answer. An open question, the beautiful question, is a wonderful gift we can offer to ourselves, to one another, and to life. It is a beautiful invitation to journey onto something new, to quest together. Of course, it's not enough to merely ask the question. To truly invite the other requires us to walk with them and listen to their answer, to join with them in their struggles, with the answers that they uncover, to walk side by side. It's the best way to listen to someone, when you're next to them, not face to face, but side by side. A good, beautiful and open question is an invitation to the other to journey and quest together. In many ways, this is what questions actually are meant to be. And they're meant to be an invitation to go on a quest. It's not so much an offering of a definite answer, but instead it's an invitation to journey, to quest together with others. It is an aspect of the creative interchange whose impacts may not be felt immediately, and hopefully will lead to more beautiful questions along the way. As Fran Peavy has observed, a very powerful question may not have an answer at the moment it is asked. It will still be rattling in the mind for days or weeks as the person works on an answer. If the seed is planted, the answer will grow. Questions are alive. Another thing, questions are alive. Questions are alive. They're not meant to shut down. They're meant to open up. They're meant to be an invitation. They invite us to journey together. And the key is to be alive, awake, and involved with the beautiful and open questing and questions. The key is to keep on inviting one another to journey on the beautiful journey with the beautiful questions. That's the key. To quest. Beautiful questions. So I'm going to end with a question. Is that all right? A question. I want to know, what's your question? What is your question? Not your answer. What is your question? Let's start there. Not anybody else's question, your question. Start there. What is life asking of you today? Would you like to share it? I invite you to share it with me or with others. Engage with the people in your life. You can't be physically with most of them, but maybe you can connect more deeply with them by asking your questions and inviting them to ask theirs. So I invite you to join with me, each and every single beautiful one of you, on the beautiful quest. If not physically at this time, then in cyberspace, if you like, until we can meet physically once again, and we will one day. So let's travel. Let's travel on the beautiful quest. And let's begin with the beautiful question. So what's your heart asking you? Not anybody else's question. What is your question? What is your beautiful question? I invite you on the quest to find it. Amen. I'm going to end this little piece with some final words of blessing. You know, we don't bless enough. We ought to bless more. Everyone can bless with their loving presence. Why not try offering blessings throughout this day? Throughout every day. Maybe that's my question. Why don't we bless more? Why are we afraid to bless one another, ourselves, all life? Why don't we bless more? But I invite us to still ourselves for one final time in this little offering. Go now in peace. Go now in peace, touched by this time together. Ask of yourself and of life the beautiful questions. Be open to what life may offer in return. You never know. You might just begin to live your way into some answers. Maybe. Who knows? Just maybe. Let's just be open. May the blessings of God go with us all in all that we feel, in all that we think, in all that we say, in all that we do. Let's go in love. Let's go in peace. Let's become the beautiful questions. Amen.